Big shout outs to everybody that was sending me the videos and updates from the Cincinnati fight that happened downtown. The case they say, I think the sixth person got locked up today, and everybody was wondering why haven't the Russian guy got locked up yet. And before we get into that, I just wanted to tell everybody get on my platform. Y'all know I commented on the Ryan case that happened, that got the cop that killed the little kid, and I seen his mom post something. So I'm gonna post this here real quick before we get into that. His mom post something about a gathering. So if you like to attend it, here go the info to it right here. Now let's get into it. Six people have been locked up for the downtown fight that happened between, I guess they want to call it a white versus black, but I'm going to come on here and state for the record that this is not a white versus black thing. To me, in my opinion, this is not a white versus black thing. I'm going to say that again. And it's so many theories and things on how the Russian guy is not locked up when everybody feel that his side is with the side that really started it.
You tell me who you think started. Everybody's playing around until the white boy throws the first punch. And after you throw the first punch, I don't care who you are, you're the one who started the fight. If you throw the first punch, you started. So let's watch here. Who throws the first punch? Boom. One. First punch. You see it clearly. Everything was cool. And then after he threw the first punch, that's when everything started.
It's a lot of videos out showing where they was chasing Goonie.
All right, more footage before the smack. You say, well, it should have been just a one-on-one fight. Here we go. We got a one-on-one fight. And a black man steps in to, and here comes the dude talking about he's 62 years old. Look, he ain't even got no shoe on. You can tell he's already fucked up. These dudes are messed up already, out drinking 3 o'clock in the morning. It's probably about 2:30 after the bar met's out, and they're out fighting. If they wanted to mob dude, they would have mobbed him right here. And he was fighting somebody that's on the spectrum. Come on, man. You were not a victim here.
Before it all even happened, and calling him the N words and things like that. So everybody know how that boils over, and I really feel like that's pretty much what's making the white versus black thing. But outside of that, they're trying to make it up as of what I've been reading. I'm just gonna go off of what I've been reading, what I've been seeing. They're trying to make it up as if the white people that they say, or the Russian people, or whatever y'all want to call them, however y'all want to identify the side. But they trying to say the Russian guy and his friends was just walking, and then the black guys, I guess, just come up out of nowhere, letting them know like, hey, y'all shouldn't be walking around here, and just attack them. And then all of a sudden it was caught on cam. Well, in my stories and everything I've been hearing from in the background of it, I'm hearing that it really started with the Russian guys and them drunk, and they started with kicking the car. It started with them kicking the car, kicking one of their car, I guess the guy in the red car. And if you hear in the video that the dude said, who car was that? And he said, it's my car. Oh yeah, sleep him, yeah. And the guy was supposed to be kicking the car. And when the guy was kicking the car, they end up, I guess, getting into the first initiation of everything. And blah, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know full details, but that's was the first initiation of everything, of the first little scuffles. Inside the first little scuffles, it was a lot of just 101 scuffles, and a lot of people just trying to break it up, telling everybody it's not that serious. A couple racial slurs started getting used around, just tossed around there. And then that's when it started escalating into a little more, where the Russian start more so flexing his hand and start just more so like pushing himself around even after his guys had stopped. This is the story I heard, that his guys had even stopped. It was just him trying to push up on two other guys, and the two other guys was more so backing him off, defending him. And then that's when we start getting the recording of the crowd just coming into everybody, getting in the middle of everybody. Not to mention he come from a background of all this. So when we start getting recorded, we seen that the fight de-escalated. The fight was no more. The fight was over. Everything was settled. People got in the middle of them. Everybody like, okay, y'all, here it is. Y'all stop. It's over with. And then boom, you see the smack. The smack is what literally set off everything. When the smack set off everything, that's what got the lady punched. That's what got his other guys hit. That's what had everybody trying to help him, and that's what had everybody trying to help their family. Boom, let's get into this black versus white thing. I'm telling y'all, through a guy that read, the guy that's very informed with history, I say this is not white versus black because I feel white versus black ended a long time ago. That's white versus black is just what's masking over the real problem, but we're not going to get into that history yet. This platform is still building to get into that type stuff. I say it's not white versus black. I say it's us versus the system. That's what it is, man, and it's a systematic problem. It's not black versus white because at the end of the day, if it was black versus white, people would have died that night. A lot of black people that was down there, it would have been a lot of more black people that got involved in that. It would have been a lot of more white people that got involved in that down there that night. A lot of people that was recording would have been saying a lot of black versus white things. So that's how you know it's not black versus white. If the white people was just wandering down the street and those black people just walked up on them and said, hey, y'all right here, y'all are not in the right part of town, y'all supposed to be white, or I mean y'all supposed to be black, if y'all supposed to be over here, and just start getting beat up, it would have been people recording in those videos saying a lot of things like, yeah, they knew they weren't supposed to be over here, yeah, that's what happened when you over in this parts of town, because that's what happened when you in them parts of town. It don't make sense. And then if it was a white versus black thing, then in them same videos, they would have been already saying, like just how they were showing when it's clear and evident, the one guy was saying, get that N-word, get that N-word. You see what I'm saying? It was evident in there. It would have been a whole lot of other white people that was saying, oh yeah, look, this how I feel. And you see what I'm saying? It would have been a march, a movement. Every time it's a white versus black thing. Y'all remember the white versus black thing that happened up in Lincoln Heights? That's white versus black. So when you read and you inform yourself, you get the understanding of what's really white versus black. No, this is systematic. This is a systematic problem we deal with. This is the stories I tell and try to get y'all informed with what people deal with on the daily that's behind them walls, because this is what we need to keep our kids away from. It's a systematic problem. And yes, black versus white play out in systematic problems because y'all ain't realizing why everybody even feel for that video. Like when you walking down the street and let's say we see a homeless lady and we see that homeless lady, if that homeless lady white, more than likely it's going to be a white person that's going to get her some money, not because of race, because when that white person look at that other white person, he going to be able to picture or see somebody in their family. Same with a black person. When we riding down the street and we see a homeless person, we're going to be able to picture somebody in our family that white person, black person look like, or not even in our family, just somebody that's close or somebody that we know or that we ran across. It's going to be a resemblance. And it's just subconscious to the point where, like I tell people, like even with police violence, that's why when they say police violence and this and that, and I tell people they are able to, like with the Ryan case, like I feel personally that cop murdered him and he didn't have a gun, but then somewhere like the one guy, I want to say this just happened like 2-3 days ago, he just shot 41 times at him and made it in alive. You see what I'm saying? So it's because when those white cops pulled up on him, they was able to see probably this. He looked like my little cousin. He looked like my little, I wouldn't shoot him. He looked like my little nephew. See what I'm saying? So it's like, it's a different approach compared to when you're approaching a guy that only time I ran across a black person in my life, I got into a bare fist fight, or I grew up around people that told me that these type of people are bad, and I never actually got to meet one. It's all just ignorance around the board, and I ain't gonna say ignorance in a bad way. I'm saying the ignorance of not knowing, because if they side knew and if our side knew, it's just people gotta start reading, and we can avoid things like this, and we can more so be there in things like this, because with things like this, only way things like this come out good is if one, you got somebody on their side, on your side, that's really able to show some proof, good hard proof evidence, or two, we all come together and show them that we're not going behind that. And we got the most people here, and that's why we so divided. That's why it's so many people, so much things. That's why I say I'm not gonna turn this into a history lesson, because we're gonna get into all that type of stuff on my podcast. But I just wanted to get on here and comment on this personally, and just to say that at the end of the day, this type stuff going to keep happening. The conspiracy theories, I say theory, conspiracy theory behind the guy they say he's a Russian mob. I don't know too much about him to even comment or say anything on that. I'm gonna just say my standpoint on how I feel and how I'm looking at this situation. This situation right here is systematic, and yes, racist things play out inside the system, but at the end of the day, all this stuff right here is going to continue to happen until people that is the color of our skin, because the world is already seen in these ways. There's no way to really change it unless everybody pick up a book and read, and we know that's not happening. But in this type style manner right here, only way it's going to happen if everybody come together and really back behind it. Because I want to say another brawl happened right up the road. It's right here in Cincinnati. It was a whole bunch of white guys jumped on a black dude and they got locked up, and I ain't see that on the news or seen it nowhere. So it's like, at the end of the day, it's all about what we care about. We care about this situation and they care about this situation too. So that's why this is the biggest situation. So if y'all really want to do something about it, we just got to show up, find a way where everybody can show up. And once you show your face, it'll be different.